Alright, in this next video from Jeff the Jeweler, he discussed about how to actually go buy gold if you want to buy gold. Now, a lot of y'all won't be buying gold, but at least if you want to sell some gold to a jeweler or a pawn shop, so you kind of know what to look for and what they're doing. Watch this.
Alright, this is Jeff the Jeweler. This is lesson 7. This is the first of 3 lessons, a gold testing procedure. This is primarily having to do with yellow gold, white gold, and silver and platinum we'll get to eventually. But if you're going to spend money on what you've learned up to now, stick to yellow gold. That's my primary metal. I deal with all the other metals, but yellow gold is where I make my living. So if you've paid attention up to now, this is about how to actually do it. This is the procedure. Alright, so let's see. We've got a list up here of the things you should have or have to accumulate. Your scales, they can be mobile, but they have to be gram and pennyweight scales. They have to readily switch back and forth because when you're buying something and you're running math figures and trying to explain something to somebody, it's very difficult. If you have gram and pennyweight scales, you don't have to learn the lessons I told you about conversion. You can just use your scales, but that's not true. Learn a conversion. Learn 1.555, 3 5s, remember? All right, and grams are bigger, so you multiply. All right, so anyway, gram pennyweight scale. Strong magnet. This is a common sense item. People forget to purchase this, but silver and gold aren't magnetic. Platinum isn't either. It has to have iron in it to be magnetic. Iron is refined out of all precious metals in the modern era, so a strong magnet can eliminate a lot of variables from what you're doing. It can take a lot of jewelry right out of play before you test it, which is the next thing you should get, or weigh it. It'll keep you from losing money, so you need a strong magnet. Alright, test acids. You've seen these extensively in the previous videos. You need at least 4 of them having to do with yellow gold, 10, 14, 18, and 22, and then a good scratch brick. It'll probably come with your test acid. They're not expensive. Same brick you sharpen a knife with. Alright, and the last thing I haven't mentioned much, but it's your magnification. And it's another common sense item. The first thing you're going to do is, once you handle it and you got the feeling this is gold, you're going to have to find the mint mark on it, the jeweler's stamp. And to do that, a good 10 power loop is irreplaceable. This is 7 power, and I can attach another 5 or 6 power on it, but 10 power is all you need, and a loop is very inexpensive. You might even have them at home, but you need this in your test kit. So these 4 items are very important. You can't buy gold without them. I suppose you can. I forgot one or the other and got around it, but if you want to feel safe, you have to have all 4 items. The scales, the gold test acid, we're not worried about platinum, silver right now, that's what that is, and then 10 power magnification and a scratch brick. It's also a good idea to collect a little gold, just little tiny pieces that you use as a default piece. You're not sure about what you're looking at, you can use the one you are sure about, that you're positive is 14 karat, and test it right next to the one you're not sure about. What's probably happened is you're testing something that says 14 karat, and it's actually 12 or 13 karat. The jeweler cheated a little bit, but your test piece, you know, is 14 karat for sure. Acid won't touch it. So you could demonstrate that to a customer or even demonstrate it to yourself so you feel comfortable about the purchase. All right, let's go over here to this camera because we've actually assembled the items in front of us that we need to get the job done. And we've got 2 kinds of scales. The first type has to do with business, and it's called legal for trade, and these have been inspected by the state. It's got the little stamp, the same one you see at the gas station pump, to certify that your state says these scales are accurate. If you're in the field, you'll need a set of travel scales, and you make a lot of money off these because you're traveling. There's a good close look at it. It's got buttons on it to do pennyweight, gram, and tare, meaning it zeroes out if it ain't quite right. And then it's got a plastic cover. This plastic cover enables you to put it in your pocket without ruining it, and walk around and then pull it out and quickly weigh something as a reference point. So the other thing you would need here, okay, so we have, alright, so I mentioned magnification. So we need a 10 power loop. This is a real common one, and you use this. People don't explain how to use it when you buy it, but you hold this 1 inch from your eye, and then the item you're examining, another inch from that. That's the focal distance. I see people trying to hold it out here. It doesn't work. You gotta hold that 1 inch from your eye, and then 1 inch from that. So the focal use is about 2 inches. Like if this was your eye, that'd be the piece right here. Alright, so that's a regular 10 power versus something you wear around. Alright, and then you have a magnet, a really strong magnet. This would be purchased anywhere. I got these on eBay, and it's several of them put together, but it's really strong. It'll wipe out a cell phone. It can mess up a set of scales. I don't know if you saw that, but I got close enough to influence the scales. Let me move it back a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you would do is run your item to be tested near the magnet. If it's magnetic at all, the chain gets pulled towards it, or whatever it is, you can dismiss it. This isn't magnetic at all. It falls right off the item. It doesn't stick to it. Okay, we looked at magnification. We looked at scales, different kinds. I'm going to switch this to penny weights. I'm more comfortable with that. And on the market, everybody uses penny weights, so I use penny weights. The customer's more comfortable with grams, so you can switch it back and forth, no problem. Okay, then you have a test brick. This is a common test brick. This one's actually made of glass, but it's unusual. Most of them are the one you sharpen your knife with. And then you have an assortment of test acids here. Okay, so we've run it near the magnet. It's not magnetic. It looks like gold. We start to look at it close, or maybe we examine it for the jeweler's stamp and the mint mark. That's two different things. We're going to explain that in the future, but look for the stamp right now. So it looks like gold. It feels like gold. There's nothing that tells us there's something wrong here. And then it wasn't magnetic, so we can move on. Let's test it. And what you would do is get a good scratch. Let me move this a little forward and this up here. But we're going to get a vigorous scratch on it. It doesn't show where we're scratching it. It's really unusual that you can take such a strong sample of something and it doesn't actually show on the piece of jewelry. If it's hollow, be careful. You don't want to cave in a sidewall. But that's a good strong sample. So now we're going to move through the acids. We're going to start with 10. We're going to find the one that eats it. That's what we're looking for. The one that reacts with it. 10 didn't touch it. And 14. I'm using a lot of acid so you can see it. You don't have to use but a little tiny bit. Save your acid. And that'll keep you from getting it on your fingers. And there's vapor coming off this. Alright, so that's 18. We give it a second. Starting to turn dark. It's eating it. So that it's reacting with it. So we know step back to the 14 karat. This is evidently 14 karat yellow gold. We have it on penny weights. We've figured out our price this morning based on the market, where we have room, what we want to profit by. Now we can weigh it. It weighs 1.4 penny weights. 1.4 penny weights. Alright, so we're going to go to our scales. I like a big set, but these are solar. They're not working right now. So you can show the customer readily your math. You know, you do it right in front of them. You don't want any tricks when you're buying gold. People aren't very secure and don't understand. Alright, so it's 1.4. 1.4 times, and we've determined this morning we're paying $30 a penny weight. So that would be in the neighborhood of $20 a gram. That's multiplication and math and the conversion. I can do it quickly. That's how comfortable you need to be. But right now we're on penny weights. We weighed it in penny weights. $30 a penny weight is what we're comfortable paying. 1.4 times 30 equals. This is worth $42. This much gold is worth $42 right now. It's probably about a $45 melt. We're making about $4 on this item, but normally you're buying a lot of gold. But this is just for the purpose of an example. Yellow gold, we got it near the magnet, we scratched it, and we looked at it close. It looks like 14 karat. We weighed it in penny weights. We checked it, make sure it's not in grams. You'll pay them too much. Then we're already comfortable with the 1 gram conversion. If they want penny weights, you can switch it now. The scales do that. You go right over here to grams, 2.2 grams, and we pay $20 a gram. So you go 2.2 times 20 instead of 30. It's $44. Very close to the same thing. The fact that it's different is a pretty good idea why you want to stay in penny weights versus the grams. The conversion cheats you a little bit. It's better for the customer, but it's not good for you. So stick with what you're comfortable with. Run your numbers. Base it on the price of gold that morning. You ought to be really safe making a little bit of money on something that most people don't understand, and you can demonstrate it now. Alright, that was Lesson 7. Lesson 8, 9, and 10 have to do with silver, white gold, platinum. So these you'll put right together right behind this. But this is yellow gold. You should be ready. Alright, this is Jeff the Jeweler. Thanks again.
Well, I hope that was very educational for you. If you ever have to sell some gold, at least you'll kind of know what that buyer is actually doing, what they're looking for in the gold you're trying to sell them. Alright, well, stay tuned. We'll try to come up with some more videos in the near future.